Grind, grind, and grind. Today, we're living in a hustle culture mentality where we're always on, always told to make moves, and never stop. Now, while that's definitely great to be on the move and constantly grinding, knowing when to take a pause and rest is also doubly as important, especially these days. Now, if you're constantly on, grinding non-stop, you have to ask yourself, in that busy schedule of yours, when do you actually take a nap? When do you actually rest? If the answer to this question is never, perhaps it's time to rethink how you're working. Depending on where you're from, taking the nap can have some negative connotations. Some of us see it as being lazy, unable to turn off that always on brain, and feel as if we're wasting our time. Others see it as an obstruction to our evening sleep. But did you know the nap, in fact, is actually an emerging, powerful, necessary tool to enhance productivity, mood, and health? That's exactly what I'll speak about in this video, as we explore the power of the seemingly forbidden nap, and share just why you need to start rethinking and implementing the nap into your daily schedule. But before I go into it, I'd really appreciate if you could like the video to help educate more people, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so we can continue to help feed you nuggets of gold that boost brain and behavior. So remember, when I say nap, I mean one of those short sleep sessions, typically during the day. This is not referring to some long, drawn-out sleep that goes on for hours. Unlike longer sleep periods, naps are meant to be brief, ranging from 10 to 30 minutes. And in this lies the power of the nap to productivity. It's this brevity that is the key to an effective recovery throughout the day. But when should you really be taking a nap? But before we actually dive into actually taking a nap, we need to first understand how the human body functions as a whole throughout the day. This is what is known as the circadian rhythm. I cover this in another video where I speak on the morning routines and how to better understand the timing of your day. But as a reminder, circadian rhythms are essentially your biological internal clock running in the background. We go through 3 key cycles throughout any given day: the peak, trough, and recovery. For majority of people, this rhythm naturally dips roughly in the afternoon from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., although this can definitely differ depending on what your circadian rhythm is set at and whether or not you're an early bird or night owl. But remember to check out our other video at the end of this video for more information about that. This trough, or the dip, as you can see in the graph, is where there's a natural decrease in energy, cognitive functioning, and overall alertness. So it's natural that at any given time we're experiencing troughs. This is the ideal time to take that recovery nap to boost your brain back up for the remaining period of the day. So what are the scientific benefits of a nap? Well, besides allowing ourselves to get mentally recovered and make the most use of ourselves during this trough period, there are several additional benefits to taking a nap. For one, it boosts cognitive alertness. Naps taken in the right amount can actually help boost your overall cognitive function. Based on a 1995 NASA study, they found that pilots who were given some rest time, napping for 26 minutes, experienced up to 54% alertness and 34% increase in performance on the job, compared to those who didn't. It also helps to enhance emotional states. There's been countless research that indicates that napping can help with emotional regulation and mitigating anxiety, frustration, and other negative emotions. Napping itself provides the body with serotonin, a chemical that helps regulate emotions. The chemical itself promotes positive feelings, and this added boost can help process stress, steering away negativity and impulsiveness. And then there's improved memory. One study from the University of Massachusetts Amherst found that naps and overnight sleep work together to benefit memory from early childhood. In fact, other studies have shown that just taking a break for less than an hour, closing your eyes, and taking a brief nap can boost your memory up to 5 times. Naps also help to recover sleep debt. When we don't get enough time the night before, or in general, we accumulate what is known as sleep debt. If we all need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but you only sleep for about 6, you end up accumulating 2 hours of sleep debt each night. This deficit can build up over days, weeks, or years, and the more it builds up, the more chronic sleep deprivation your body has, which can inevitably affect your mental and physical health. And so with a nap, you allow yourself to refresh the brain and recover on that added sleep that you may have. And of course, naps also improve learning. With a good nap, you can also enhance how you learn, which is particularly useful for students or learners alike. According to a 2019 study done on daytime naps, naps helped with retaining information, as during that brief sleep, your brain processes and organizes the information deep within. But of course, some of you may be listening and wondering, I can't seem to take a nap though. It's been highlighted in a Harvard study that there are definitely certain genes influencing our ability to take naps. Some people do have a higher sleep propensity than others. There was one study that looked over genetic makeup of over 450,000 individuals, and in it, researchers found that 123 regions in the human genome are associated with the tendency to nap during the day. What these findings mean is that while taking a nap is definitely a choice, it is true that some of us have a higher inclination to be able to take a nap, genetically speaking. And so our genetic makeup does dictate why some of us are more capable at napping than others. But putting that genetics aside, the idea of napping is more widely accepted in some cultures than others. For countries like the US, for example, taking a nap is less encouraged than perhaps countries like Spain, where the idea of having a siesta is more common, although this negative stigma we have around taking a nap is definitely changing in the West. It seems that the people in Spain may have gotten something right, as short siestas can be shown to improve cognitive functioning, alertness, and overall mood. There's also this notion in many countries that sleeping on the job is actually quite a huge offense. But it's time we begin to change this idea, as sleeping, as indicated earlier, has demonstrated several benefits, from increased performance to improved creativity. And then there's also studies that continue to indicate that sleeping on the job, even for a brief moment, can be largely beneficial. This is particularly relevant for workers that need to stay awake for long periods of time. As Jennifer Goldschmidt, a doctoral student in the Department of Psychology, notes, our results suggest that napping may be beneficial intervention for individuals who may be required to remain awake for long periods of time by enhancing the ability to persevere through difficult or frustrating tasks. So with all this being said, how can we make sure we take a nap in the most effective way possible instead of just going to sleep and waking up all groggy? Well, for one, taking a nap at any time is not going to be effective. You need to really consider and understand what type of person you are, whether it's a night owl or an early bird, and fit that nap around that. Remember that graph earlier I mentioned? Yeah, take note of that. Once again, it goes back to your circadian rhythm. So for most people who wake up early in the morning, the best time for a nap is early afternoon, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But as mentioned earlier, this is usually when we experience a trough, but it doesn't apply for everybody. Anytime after 3 p.m. can interfere with your night's sleep, so make sure to avoid that. As Dr. Nilang Vyas, founder and owner of Sleepless in NOLA, states, taking a nap can be helpful as long as it is limited to 30 minutes per day and completed at least 7.5 to 9 hours before bedtime to avoid disrupting overnight sleep and circadian rhythms. And then another key suggestion on how to take the right nap is brevity. Don't take a nap for too long. As mentioned earlier, brevity is key to taking the most effective nap. Based on all the studies shown earlier, they found that 10 to 20 minute naps, or at most 30 minutes, is the ideal amount of time for a power nap. Anything that exceeds 30 minutes can be dangerous, as that's when the body enters a deep sleep, which can eventually cause grogginess. And then also try to create an environment that allows you to nap. The whole point of taking a nap is to feel rested. Think about it as recovery for the remaining day. So naturally, if we take a nap, it's best to do it in an environment that is conducive for a good nap, somewhere quiet, dark, peaceful. And it goes without saying, put away any distractions like your phone. And then there's a suggestion of the Nappuccino method. In Daniel Pink's book, When, he speaks on the concept of the Nappuccino. This is a napping method that allows you to make the most of caffeine and brief sleep. So it usually takes the body anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes for caffeine to kick in. So what he recommends is to take a cup of coffee or tea before taking the nap. Then you go to sleep for about 20 to 25 minutes. And as you wake from your momentary slumber, the caffeine will begin to take its effect, allowing you to feel that extra boost of alertness. So, in the end, napping is not some luxury or form of laziness we should put off for later. As you can see, it has countless benefits for our mental and physical well-being. By integrating short naps into your busy schedule, you can improve everything from productivity, performance, alertness, cognitive function, and stress regulation. Research continues to come out on the power of a great nap, and so next time you're feeling a bit guilty or tired throughout the day, wind down for a brief moment and take that nap. Trust me, it'll do more for you throughout the day than you realize. So, if you enjoyed this video and actually want to learn more about discovering the right time on being the most optimal throughout the day, as I mentioned throughout this video, make sure to watch that next video. It's really helpful. And if you found the content of this video very useful, please make sure to like the video. It really helps us out. And leave a comment and subscribe so you can continue to feed nuggets of gold that help boost brain and behavior.